Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome into the News 10 Plus Digital Desk. I'm Taylor Gattoni with Justin Bradford.
Hello, how's it going today?
It's going great.
Hopefully good, yeah. We have another very summer-like day outside going on. We had a really warm weekend. Humidity's been creeping up. I'd say it's probably at its highest this afternoon, though, and tomorrow I think we get a little more humidity to creep in. Got a few small chances for scattered storms to talk about in our forecast, too.
Yes, and that's probably why you're feeling all of the humidity in the air as we get those summer-like temperatures, too, that's exciting. But yes, it's the storms and showers Justin really wants to prepare everyone on.
Yeah, I wanted to just take a look at Skycam first because right now, by all accounts, in most of mid-Michigan, really pleasant afternoon ongoing. US 127 out there in the Meridian Company Skycam network has got some warm temperatures, 77 degrees. Now the winds turn northwesterly, and we're going to continue to warm up close to the mid-80s before the day is done. But notice that dew point. Humidity's creeping up, 66. And so that's the number we would have to cool the air to get dew to form on the grass. 60s, you start feeling that humidity quite a bit more, and we'll notice it even more as the day goes on. Yesterday, here were the highs, the warmest day so far in 2024. 86 in Lansing, 87 for Jackson and Mason. We nearly hit 90 in Adrian yesterday. And again, with the heat index, I think at times we were close to 90 degrees in Lenawee County. The numbers now, you can see where that divide is. Can you tell where the thunderstorms earlier this afternoon rumbled on through? How about St. John's and Alma in the mid-60s, Lansing 77, and how about 86 in Mason right now? And we're not even at the 2 o'clock update just yet. These numbers likely to continue climbing as the day goes on. 84 for Jackson and 85 right now in Coldwater. So there's that divide, and once again, the humidity has crept up too. We've got 60s dew points, and what that really means is we've added more humidity. So here's our muggy meter. This kind of shows you where we're getting. Now, I don't think we're quite to the oppressive, so the arrow there is probably off by just a touch. It wasn't muggy before I pulled up this setting, but we are generally in that humid to muggy range depending on where you are, and so humidity very high out there this afternoon across mid-Michigan. Here's current look at satellite and radar without lightning, and you can see there is a severe thunderstorm warning off in the Flint area and towards most of, if not all of, the Thumb region. They're seeing that same complex of storms that scooted by the north side of Lansing just past the airport there. And I think it did get a few drops down at the airport and the outflow responsible for the temperatures. So downtown Lansing's probably in the 80s right now, but outside of the downtown and you get north towards the airport, it's in upper 70s. Everybody's going to continue climbing as that system sails off. Now you add the lightning here and you see that there's plenty of that. We certainly had a lot last night, and I did my fun little explainer that I love so much on heat lightning and the myth that is, because we could see storms last night from Lansing and Jackson looking south that were in Ohio, which is pretty amazing. You can see them that far away at night, but when you have 10-mile tall, 9-mile tall thunderstorm clouds emitting some lightning, the sound can't quite get to us, but you can still see the light because it travels much faster than sound. And backing out here, you can see that there is another complex headed our way, getting ready to cross Lake Michigan. That's the one that might arrive here as we get into the overnight, and the one that we're focused on for a small severe weather risk. And so we're going to take an eye at or a peek at that, looking at our forecast. Here's today's outlook. That line of storms has been responsible for a slight risk across Lake Michigan, but here it's again just mainly a marginal risk. Now, not to be undone, it still does mean we could see an isolated storm that has gusty winds, maybe some small hail. Now, compare that, I should say, with tomorrow's outlook, which does currently have most of us in mid-Michigan in a slight risk across the area. So we're going to be talking about getting into first alert weather day criteria, especially as we get into this evening. If that slight risk holds up, this afternoon update that is coming out in moments here will help determine that. And so be sure to check back in with us and have your first alert, because we're going to have a storm complex tomorrow that moves into mid-Michigan. The one thing to note of, though, backing out here, and I think we can back it out, maybe not. I'm going to try to do it myself right here. You notice that off towards the eastern section, or the west of us, you have this large area of an enhanced risk off that direction. In those places, they're expecting to see quite a bit more in the way of severe weather. Why we get the slight risk to work out in our direction is because this is going to be a thunderstorm complex that comes together, a group of storms that the weather community we call a QLCS. That acronym stands for Quasi-Linear Convective System.
Wow.
It's basically just a fancy way of saying a group of thunderstorms is going to get together, have a party, and all move our way in a big line. maybe in a V formation, maybe not. We'll see how it all works out. But that kind of is our fun way of describing, of course, a situation where you could have severe weather. But that's sort of what we're watching and what we're tracking, giving you the first alert about. This also for Tuesday, by the way, this risk really is for us as we get closer to sunset tomorrow. We might have a chance to flare up a storm or shower in the afternoon that could have some gusty winds or hail, but the primary slight threat is going to be for us in the evening on Tuesday, kind of like it is in the evening tonight. And so that's what our focus is on moving forward. So here's our hour-by-hour breakdown. Look at those temperatures just soaring into those middle, maybe even a few upper 80s today, especially if we do continue staying dry this afternoon, and I think most of us will now that that complex is off into the thumb, even though it is bringing some severe weather to that region. Now you see that line to the west on the left side of the screen to this evening. That slides in as we head into the evening. The model wants to break it up. If it does, it's good for us. If it doesn't, it holds its strength a little bit. That's when we could see as we get closer to 8, 9 o'clock, maybe that potential for severe weather. And that would be mainly, again, for gusty winds across mid-Michigan. Now, heading into the overnight, you see that the rain dries up. We start tomorrow dry, and then eventually we make our way back into the 80s tomorrow. There's that little flare-up thunderstorm that could happen around 3, 4 p.m. in the afternoon, especially towards Jackson County. That works through pretty quickly, and then we're dry tomorrow evening. So I think evening plans tomorrow are probably pretty good, but here's midnight, and you see that complex out there, that QLCS, as we refer to it, is off on the left side of your screen there. That's going to try to race inland as we get into the overnight, and so that would kind of be more our window for severe weather. Happening in the overnight does not work out very well for us in the darkness especially. It's tougher to see what's going on. And in the middle of the night, most people are asleep when you want to have ways to get alerts and weather information. We're hoping that this will be weakening significantly once it crosses the lake, and that by the time it gets to us overnight, Tuesday night into Wednesday, it's not as big a deal. But of course, we want you to be prepared and have that first alert. And so that's going to be what we're watching for our first alert weather day criteria. And so if we do issue one for Tuesday, know that it would be for those probably after dark systems. And so if it's a nice afternoon, don't be saying, oh, well, they issued a first alert weather day, it's sunny. Well, you know, this is kind of what we're looking at heading into Wednesday night. But it's tough to get that message out for Wednesday when you'll see here in our model, by the time you wake up Wednesday morning, well, it's already done and it's already gone. So we might end up going with this for Tuesday as a frame of reference so that you're aware for Tuesday night, with that being our emphasis. First alert weather day, especially when it's an overnight, sometimes can get a little tricky, but that's kind of how we're going to play this all out for you. And you notice that other than maybe a stray shower early Wednesday, we get back into a lot of sun and highs back near 80. It's going to be really nice second half of the week for us here in mid-Michigan. We just got to get through a couple of storms before we get there. And so the 10-day will show that. They're popping up here, but again, not widespread. We're going to spend way more dry time than wet time over the next 48 hours. And then we get out into a very comfortable late week. Thursday, Friday, 70s, less humidity, sunshine. Sign me up for that. That sounds really nice, especially with overnight lows in the 50s as opposed to 60s. In fact, the lows Tuesday night might be close to 70 across parts of the state. And so that's what we have heading out towards the weekend. You see here there are a couple showers to dance around for the holiday, but we are going to have numbers upper 70s to low 80s. And I don't think any of those days are washouts, including Memorial Day. And so we're looking pretty good mostly in this forecast other than these storm threats the next 2 days. The mid to late week looks great, and I think even this weekend you should be able to celebrate the unofficial start to summer without too many issues. One thing is for sure, while the unofficial start to summer is next Monday, it's already feeling like the thick of it today. You could very easily confuse today with a day in August or July. It's one of those very sticky days. Hopefully you're out there able to get a break and relief from the humidity. Make sure you drink water, wear the sunscreen, everything you got to do, and not bad idea to have the umbrella as well.
No, not a bad idea at all. But yes, if you want to do anything fun, just keep an eye on the forecast, because as Justin was sharing, there is the chances of scattered storms and showers. But overall, yeah, this is beautiful summer-like temperatures.
Yeah, looking pretty good for us generally speaking. And one more really quick time here. We're going to take a peek at our satellite and radar image, which once again is showing you that complex of thunderstorms that is severe warned towards the thumb area off to our north and east. We are likely going to be dry for maybe the rest of this afternoon, and it'll be that threat that eventually ends up working in as we get to after dark. That'll bring that margin of risk back into the picture. But until then, once again, as we were talking about, things look okay across mid-Michigan. We're, especially second half of the week, going to be panning out nicely. And as I mentioned, even with these shower storm threats the next 2 days, they're mainly going to be evenings. And a lot of our days are just going to feel warm and summer-like. And so this isn't going to be, we're keeping an eye out all day long for storms. It's mainly Monday evening, Tuesday evening. Once we're past that, fairly smooth sailing for the rest of this forecast. And hey, next week could change, and if it does, and you're not able to catch us on air online or any of that, a great place where you can go to be weather aware is the First Alert Weather app, which once again is free, Google Play and the App Store. It's got all these wonderful features we tout every day, and hopefully you're able to download that app. Because we once again want to keep you safe, including folks like Suzanne. Thank you for watching us very much. We again want you to have that first alert. We'll be talking about it a lot more coming up at 3 o'clock and during First at 4 with your First Alert weather forecast.
Yes, and thank you for all of those updates. I know something that I wanted to know, which you cleared up right here. We're part of the Softball League WIL Extra innings. We didn't do too bad last week. We did pretty good.
Did better. You know what? I will say we have improved, and I will leave it at that for now. I will leave it at that.
Yes.
We're getting better every week, and I think by this week,
nice way to put it.
This week, I think we're going to do pretty well.
I think we will too. Okay, so tomorrow we're just, again, those shower storms are going to come overnight.
Yeah.
So around midnight, so Wednesday technically, and then into the early morning hours.
Right.
So if you have softball leagues, soccer leagues, any other things going on, it should be good.
Yeah, evening golf events, things like that. I'm hesitant, a little hesitant, but mostly confident in thinking you'll be okay tomorrow evening after that, 6 to 9 o'clock. I think everybody's good, but it's going to be just after that in the overnight. Even before that, maybe a pop-up storm shows up tomorrow afternoon. It's a very humid air mass after all, and it doesn't take much to spin up a storm this time of, well, I shouldn't say this time of year. In a summer like air mass, usually we don't see it as much this time of year, but once again, that is something that could creep in. Today, it's the folks off to the north and east that are dealing with it, not so much us. But tomorrow, it's going to be us potentially who are dealing with some of those storms, and even this evening. And so once we get closer to sunset, maybe keep those eyes to the sky, download the First Alert Weather app. Great place to start. Watch us on air too. Myself and Andy will have updates, and then we'll continue to carry you through the middle of the week right here in News 10.
That's right. And we'll see you coming up Studio 10 and then First at 4.
That's right. Yep.
All right. Well, Studio 10 gets started in just under an hour here. So that's where you can see more of Justin coming up. Thank you, Justin, for the forecast.
Of course.
We'll see you then.
Sounds good.
All right, cool. Until then, this is where you can stay up to date with Studio 10 at WILX. Studio 10 is a great handle to go to catch all of the latest things going on with them. Getting ready for the summer, of course, so make sure to go check that out. Until then, I'm going to share what's coming up during First at 4 today and during our 90 minutes of news, if you give me just a second here. So, coming up during First at 4 on Mid-Michigan Matters today, we are talking with the Michigan Department of Transportation on Memorial Day travel. So, of course, let's see, I think AAA was saying more than 1 million Michiganders are expected to travel for this holiday weekend. Of course, Memorial Day is next Monday, so a week from now, but everyone's going to get the festivities ready starting this weekend, probably even this Friday. And so with all of the construction, even some of those storms and showers on the way, we just want to let you know how you can more smoothly travel to your Memorial Day destination. So make sure to tune in during Mid-Michigan Matters on First at 4 today. Coming up, News 10 at 5, Health CS Mott Children's Hospital poll finds out 1 in 4 parents say their teen consumes caffeine every day or nearly every day, and that more than half of parents say they rarely look at caffeine amounts when buying beverages for their teen. And so we're going to look at the impact that caffeine has on teens. I know that when I was younger, not to expose my dad, but he would give me a coffee to try every once in a while. Not whole bottles, but we had some caffeine, so maybe that's why we are the way we are. But we're going to look at the impact of caffeine on teens coming up News 10 at 5. Coming up News 10 at 5:30, our News 10 Sports, Fred Human will be live from day 1 of the Diamond Classic. He'll bring you all of that excitement coming up News 10 at 5:30. News 10 at 6, today is National Rescue Dog Day. We're at an Adopt Don't Shop event in Lansing that is looking to get some of their pups some forever home. Getting the pups a forever home with a family. So if that family is you, make sure to tune in during News 10 at 6 today. I do want to share what our reporters have coming up. We have Mars Anderson sharing what he'll have coming up News 10 at 5:30. Let me take this down for you so that you can see. There we go. We're going to check it with Mars Anderson real quick, and then we'll hear from Deanna Giles on what they have coming up during, let's see here, our 90 minutes of news, if I can find the mouse. News 10 at 5:30 for Mars.
Hi Taylor, Mars Anderson here out in Lake Odessa talking to community members about what's going on at a farm out in Ionia County. Look at this little guy or little girl. I'm going to have more on this story during News 10 at 5:30, but for now, I'm going to toss it back to the studio.
That looks like a blast. I think I'm going to play it again just because that was so fun. Here we go again.
Hi, Taylor Mars Anderson here out in Lake Odessa talking to
Look at
community
this.
members about what's going on at a farm out here in Ionia County. Look at this little guy or little girl. I'm going to have more on this story during News Center 5:30, but for now, I am going to toss it back to the studio.
I think that's awesome. Okay, that's coming up News 10 at 5:30. Don't miss it because obviously Morris looks like he's having a blast out there. But yes, that is what we have coming up. I think that is everything. Lots of fun going on. News 10 at 5:30 with Morris. Make sure to tune in. Here is what else we have coming up. We got Erin Bowling actually coming up with, she is live. So we're going to be taking that real shortly here. And so in the meantime, what you can do is go scan that QR code for our You're Not Alone mental health series. We're going to have much more stories coming up on News 10 all year long, and make sure to tune in for more. But Crystal is going to help me get this started for Erin Bowling. She is live right now, and we want to make sure that we're heading into that for all of you. So that is what we have coming up today. We hope you join us and have a great rest of your day.